In the middle of this rebuilding season, Coach O'Connor's team stands at 38-1 and is currently ranked 14th in the nation. I give you the head men's baseball coach, Brian O'Connor.
Thanks, Joe. When you said that, that sounded like 38-1. It's actually 38-1. You can actually tie in baseball.
We like it the other way.
Yeah. Keep saying it like you're saying it.
Why only 14?
I tell you, it's a real honor to be here this evening, as I know the other coaches are as well. I'm excited. I'm excited to really to listen to Tony talk for a few minutes. I know anytime you go to a new job and your first couple of weeks are always a whirlwind for you. You know, I can remember back 6 years ago when I accepted the job and Coach Littlepage was gracious enough to bring me on as assistant coach from Notre Dame and give me a great opportunity to come here and be a first-time head coach. My head was spinning the first couple of weeks. You know, you're trying to put all the pieces in place to build the foundation of your program, and I'll tell you, there's one day that really stuck out to me in my first 2 weeks. Is there was a UVA alum that called me in my office one morning and he said, you know, Brian, I'd like to introduce myself and I'd really like to take you to dinner this evening and you know, get to know you a little bit and see if there's anything that I can do to help you out to get the baseball program to be a winner here. So I took him up on his offer and we went downtown on the downtown mall and had a nice dinner. And I remember Robert asking me, he said, you know, Brian, what is it going to take for the baseball program to be a top 25 program consistently? And, you know, we sat there for a couple hours over dinner and I laid my plan out to him. And I'm not going to cover that plan with you here this evening, but, you know, the first part of it was, and all these other coaches will tell you too, we needed to recruit great student athletes that were the best athletes in our state that we could find that fit our profile at the University of Virginia. These coaches already spoke about, you know, the great education, the great package that's offered at UVA. Well, we needed to go out and find that. And you know, I feel fortunate over the 6 years that I've been here is we found a lot of those kids that are not only great baseball players but also good people and great students. I'd like to give you a little bit of a recruiting update on how we're doing moving into next year. We have 11 young men signed to come play for us next year at Virginia. I'm happy to tell you that the #1 rated player in the state is at Mills Godwin High School, Reed Dragnani. He is signed to be in our uniform next year. So the in-state players, I can speak for our baseball program, will always be a priority. I believe 60% of our roster is made up of Virginia players. So that was an important part of the plan, was to recruit the best student athletes in the state and across the Eastern Seaboard to represent our university. Another important part was to recruit kids that aspired to not only get a great education, but aspired to play baseball at the very highest level. That's important to me. Sure, every one of our kids is going to graduate, but I want kids that really want to work every day with their teammates and make a career out of this sport. And I'm sure you probably heard the news today, one of our former players who played in our uniform 4 years ago, Ryan Zimmerman, just signed a new $45 million contract this morning to be with the Washington Nationals for the next 5 years. And I can tell you as a coach, that makes you very proud, because that young man is getting to do what he wants to do with his life. And as I walked around the room and got a chance to meet many of you or see many of you again that I've had opportunities to meet in the past, I can't tell you, and these other coaches would share the same thoughts with you, how much your influence has on people like Monica Wright, or Ryan Zimmerman, or all these student athletes. We could not, absolutely not, do it without you. Okay? And when you make that decision on, you know, am I going to write this check to help out this athletics program? Or am I going to get in my car and drive from Richmond and go to a baseball game or go to the women's basketball game or the field hockey game or whatever it might be? You know, you're making a decision not to support Brian O'Connor or Tony Bennett or Debbie Ryan or Coach Groh. You're making a decision to support those young men and women that wear our uniforms. And, you know, I know the other coaches alluded to it. That's what it's all about. It's not about me. You know, they didn't build a baseball stadium at the University of Virginia to have a place for Brian O'Connor to coach. They built it for 33 young men to have an incredible experience in our uniform and graduate from the university, okay, and fulfill their dreams, whether that be in a professional life or in baseball. And when you make that decision, you know, am I going to jump both feet in and support this athletics program? Well, I want you to think about those 2 student athletes that you heard from tonight and the many student athletes that represent our programs. They're what it's about. It's not about a coach. It's about changing their experience. Those of you that made a commitment to help fund our baseball program 7, 8 years ago and build that stadium, you changed Ryan Zimmerman's life forever because you gave him an opportunity to advance his career and put him in the position that he's in right now. And it's about those young student athletes that we have on our fields and on our courts, that they're the ones that make the difference, and it's their lives that you're impacting. I'd like to talk briefly about our team. We are 38-1. I can't say that I've ever said it was a rebuilding year. Are we young? Sure. 22 out of our 33 players are either first or second years. It's by far the youngest team that I've ever coached in my coaching career. And so I got to tell you, coming into the year, I really didn't know what to expect. Watching them in fall ball, I felt like we had talent. I thought we had really good players. But when you have young players and experienced players, what you don't know is, as a coach, how are they going to handle adversity? How are they going to handle when they get punched in the nose on Friday night down at North Carolina and don't win the game? How are they going to respond to that? You know, young players that haven't been through it before, they don't know. And I can tell you, this group of young men that we have handled that adversity. And I've grown a lot as a coach this year. I've learned a lot from this team because of the way that they have stepped up at difficult times during this year and responded. And I think that's what it's all about. You know, if they leave our program good players and graduate from the university and they learn how to handle adversity, I think that's pretty important. I think that's going to serve them pretty well for the rest of their lives. We have an important game tomorrow night. We play VCU at the Diamond at 7 p.m. Every 2 years we come here to Richmond to play VCU at the Diamond, and I hope that you'll come out and support our team. We have a game on Wednesday night against Georgetown, and we have a big weekend series this weekend at home against North Carolina State. We have 9 ACC games left. We are in 4th place overall in the ACC, which is the toughest baseball conference in the country. We're ranked somewhere inside the top 20. We have everything to play for and everything right out in front of us. I can tell you, I'm so excited coming down this stretch run because we have an opportunity to win the league in the regular season, and we have an opportunity to potentially host an NCAA regional for the 4th time in the last 6 years at our great ballpark. So we're excited, our team's excited about moving forward, and we're looking forward to the challenge that's in front of us, and I think this is a special group. I think if I can get our bullpen figured out, and believe me, I got plenty of comments about it tonight and got your suggestions. Craig, I don't know if you should have said that about their suggestions, but I got plenty of them tonight, and I've received plenty of emails, and I appreciate it. But I can tell you, when it matters most for this team at the end of the year, I really believe that I'll have it figured out. So bear with me, and we're excited about the remainder of the season. And again, on behalf of all the coaches and the university, I really can't thank you enough from our student athletes about the your ability to change their experience and what you've done for them. Thank you.